to make some art. Greetings, my audacious amphibians. I was gonna do a bit here, but my camera died, so... Anyways, it's me, Brandon Camilo, and welcome back. As most of you guys know, I'm an artist. And if you didn't know, well then here's your chance to speedrun my Instagram.
Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
And with being an artist, it's a lot easier for me to just go with the flow and experiment with new ideas, try different mediums, and paint on all sorts of canvases. All of this is beyond fun for me. But the often most overlooked part in the career of an artist is, well, marketing. As an artist, you're basically responsible for being your #1 cheerleader.
Yeah, he's a pilot, great!
But although supporting myself in spirit is fruitful for my mental health, I still need to figure out a way to get my name out there to you guys. Apart from this YouTube channel, of course, I'm talking about like when I meet people in person and stuff. I'll often find myself in scenarios such as this. Oh wow, that's such a cool drawing. Oh dude, thanks. Yeah, I mean, it's not really anything much, it's just a couple of sketches. Oh, that's pretty neat, but I gotta go now, bye. No, wait, please follow me on Instagram, YouTube, something. Crap. Or, yo dude, really dig your vibe. I gotta get your social media, man. Yeah dude, for sure, let me just take out my phone real quick. Oh yeah, let me go ahead and get mine actually. Wait, hold on just a... So it's Brandon.Camilo, Camilo. Wait, so hold up, my Wi-Fi, wait, I think I misspelled it. What was it again? You can see how it can get pretty tedious. Regardless of the scenario, it just gets tricky to take out phones and jot down information and other things. I never really find the right moment in a conversation to hit somebody with a, hey, by the way, I have a YouTube channel. Especially if the conversation topic that we have on hand has nothing to do with the fact that I have a channel anyways. So, I just thought it'd be the bee's knees if I could come up with some business cards, right? Like, who wouldn't want to finish a conversation with, oh, by the way, here's my business card, I'm an artist. Well, at least I think so, and that's all that matters anyways. So I scoured the web and got to compare prices for business cards, and it was pretty much all the same across the board price-wise, so I decided to go with Moo. They're not sponsoring this video, I just chose them because I like the card layout. They have rounded corners on their cards and whatnot, and besides, I intend on designing my own cards from scratch, so pre-rendered designs weren't a basis on which I made my own decision. So with a supplier in mind, it was time to get a design going. But before I can start designing my own business cards, I need a little bit of fresh air to hit me, or at least some sort of inspiration. So I figured it'd just be a good idea if we took a walk in the park. Taking walks, or just stepping outside for that matter, is an important part of my artistic process. Heck, I don't even think it has anything to do with art. It's just overall nice to go outside and breathe some fresh air and actually feel like a part of this world. I saw a meme a while back that said we humans are basically just like houseplants but with more complicated emotions, and I resonate with that completely. Hydration and sunlight are imperative to stay optimal. Eventually, I found a nice bench at the park to sketch out some rough ideas, and in my excitement, I came up with 2 ideas that I'm going to turn into business cards. Okay, so hear me out, guys. I have the first design, which I suppose is supposed to represent me in some sort of way, at least I think in the hair department. I don't always like to do straight up self-portraits, so I opt for more of this mask sort of design. And for the posture, I chose something that is reminiscent of my current YouTube channel logo. By the way, that painting was never supposed to be my YouTube logo. It was actually a birthday present that I made for a friend, and I ended up really digging the composition for that one. Anyways, for design number 2, I want to incorporate something with an eyeball. I think that an eye is a real attention grabber for someone who is just glancing at something real quick. Plus, I'm really good at drawing those kind of on the fly, so the idea just came to me during the sketch session. So, I chose to go with 2 business cards. And they're both gonna have the exact same information on the other side. Instagram, YouTube, email, the works. I just think it would be really neat to design business cards as a continual process of sorts. At least for right now, I think that it would be super cool to design a new set of cards each time the last set is completely done being handed out. That way, I can have a gauge as to how long someone has been holding onto a card if I ever see one in the future again. It might be a dumb idea in retrospect, but I like it enough right now to try it, so here we are. So it was time to start painting. I began by setting out all the things I was gonna need, so I didn't have to constantly turn back to my shelf to reach for things. Spoiler alert, I still consistently reached back for many different things. I'd like to say I paint in a sort of organized chaos, and what I mean by that is that sometimes I get messy, but at least I know everything is on my shelf. Another part of my setup that you guys can't really see or hear is my television. I typically love to play some tunes while I paint and also watch some Let's Players on YouTube or some commentary videos or even just straight up nature documentaries. It's kinda nice to have something on to break the silence. Unless I'm outside. As you just saw earlier in the video, when I'm outside I just like to hear the ambient noises around me. Anywho, coming into this painting I had a bit of a game plan worked in my head. You see, in my interwebs research, I learned that the standard size for a business card is 3.5 by 2 inches. That's the perfect size to fit in somebody's wallet. So what I decided to do is give myself a working area twice that size at 7 inches by 4 inches. This way, I don't have to worry about finicking around with teeny tiny details, and I don't limit myself to the simplest of designs. Coming into the drawing, I made sure to roughly keep things centered, but I also gave myself some wiggle room and wasn't going to beat myself up if everything wasn't crystal clear and perfect. Besides, it's like I said, I'll be designing new ones in the future anyways, right? So no need to stress. Getting into the line work of the first card was a ton of fun. Since I dabble a little bit in a bunch of different mediums, I had forgotten what it was like to use my Micron pens. There used to be a whole point where Micron pens were my main tool for creating works of art back in 2019. So for the color palette of the first card, I went with many of the same colors that I show in my YouTube logo. I like all the greens and splashes of red and orange that contrast from it. I just didn't stick with watercolors either for the card. I made use of some colored pencils, colored pens, and ballpoint pens as well. Also, a disclaimer real quick, if you're watching this video many years after it's been posted, first of all, thank you so much for watching this, and second of all, here's a timestamp of what I'm referring to as the logo. I'm assuming I'm probably going to change it at some point in the future, but yeah. I really liked how the first one came out, but the work wasn't done there. We still gotta get card number 2 out of the way. So for card number 2, it was pretty much wash, rinse, and repeat. Everything that I had done for the first one was gonna get done again, except that it's just a different design with different colors. As I was lining this piece up, I could feel the finish line approaching on this project, and I began thinking excitedly of where something like this can end up. Like, the fact that I'm creating a unique work of art that I will use to get my name out really fills me with like this childlike joy. Just recently, I had the luxury of tattooing a hand that I drew in my previous How to Draw Hands video. It's linked in the description. And the thing is that the only reason I drew that hand was because I was thinking of cool ideas for YouTube content. I was lucky enough to have someone really like that design and resonate with it enough to allow me to tattoo it on them. That's so cool how that works, because I was completely not expecting to ever tattoo one of those designs. Now I can only imagine where these cards may end up and who might end up reaching out for future projects. Anyways, I digress. I made sure to include a ton of black in this card here so as to contrast from the candle and make it look like it's actually glowing, or at least somewhat glowing. Again, I wasn't being the most strict on my cleanliness of delivery because I knew these are going to get scaled down, but I wasn't being sloppy either. For the eye, I went with painting the surrounding area red because I figured everything was already going in the direction of a spooky vibe, and I didn't want to deviate too hard from the colors used in the candle, particularly the flame. In the end, I really liked how the first card looked. Most of my friends that I showed previews to actually preferred the eyeball candle card. But regardless, it was time to get these cards scanned at my day job and send them off to Moo. So while we wait, let's make like houseplants and get some sunlight, shall we? So I just finished sending out the business cards and there is nothing to do except wait. I mean, I could stay at home and make more art, but I mean, I don't really understand what the point of that is when I can be also surrounded by it. Besides, it's also nice to go ahead and like take a break and ride my bike. Riding my bike, much like walking in the park, helps me clear my head on a lot of different aspects of things. On top of it being really good exercise, I think it helps me think about things in a new setting. I found myself reflecting on thoughts of patience during this particular ride, and after having sent out the business cards, I was so desperate to get them immediately and to start moving on to the next project or the next phase or the next endeavor. But it takes patience to receive the cards, yeah? Much like it takes patience to achieve anything in art. It's taken me a mighty long time to get to this point that I'm at. And I'm not talking about just developing my drawing skills, but I'm also talking about navigating life. I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's just important to stop and take a look at your surroundings. Take in the moment of where you're at, because eventually it will be just a memory. And I hope that whatever the future has in store for me, you guys can come along for the ride with me and we can create amazing works of art. But for now, we're stuck waiting for these damn business cards, and hopefully I'll show you how they look in the next video. And with that being said, my name is Brandon Camilo. I love you all. Bye.